Also, it's a Welsh accent, by the way, so you probably can't understand the word I'm saying, but anyway, we'll keep going on. The rise of the intelligent machines. Well, what are we talking about? I'm going to try to talk about some trends and then illustrate that with some jobs and then give you a bit of an idea of what you can do about this, okay? Because we're in the pickies. We're a bit stuck. The technology industry is moving very, very quickly. It's moving far faster than any of your school curriculums. It's moving far faster than we can actually supply in our partner and our communities and technical developer communities to kind of support some of the new technologies that are appearing. I showed this last year, and it's still as prevalent as ever. You know, 100,000 job openings in the cloud, okay? Does everybody know what the cloud is? If you don't, you need to go and work it out, right? Go onto YouTube and find out what the cloud is. It's nothing too special. It's data centers which are actually in other people's kind of premises, okay? But it's really important you start to work out what the cloud is and how you can use it. We all use the cloud at the minute. If you use Facebook, Instagram, that data is stored in somebody else's cloud. Netflix, movies on your iPhones or on your iPads or whatever, they're all stored in the cloud somewhere, and we've got to exploit that. We've also got an issue in schools where students are not doing technical enough stuff. We're very good consuming technology, but we're not very good at creating things, and you've heard that a few times today, okay? So this is where the jobs are, right? And I'm not doing this as a Microsoft thing, I'm doing this as a tech thing. There are a lot of jobs needing lots of skills from lots of different tech companies, okay? There's going to be no jobs which don't require technology of some way, shape, or form. I was talking to one of the girls from one of the schools at the back earlier on, and she was saying about she's interested in films and media and stories and game design. And that's really interesting because, you know, it's the creative skills that we're looking for. It's not only the technical skills. If you're not an uber geek and you don't love coding, it's very much around what other skills you can bring to the party. The creativity, the storytelling, your English skills, your ideas are really important. You don't need to actually know how to do a lot of this stuff, but you've got to come up with those ideas. And there's a lot of jobs in the different states, in the different tech companies, and including, you know, Wise Tech. Richard was up here earlier on. So what are we talking about? Where are these trends? Data collection, yeah? We get data collected on us a lot now, okay? And we've seen that really, really jump to the fore in the last year, massively. Have you noticed the amount of people talking about self-driving cars? There was an accident, a Uber self-driving car killed somebody in America, and they're learning to kind of understand the roads. But that data, the self-driving cars are kind of more prevalent now because of the fact that there's more data coming in. Yeah? Has anybody put your hands up if you've got a Fitbit or a kind of health monitor device or an Apple Watch or one of those things? Lots of people, yeah, cool. That data comes in, where does it go? Where is that data stored? And if we get lots of that data, what can we predict in the future? Because this data is getting more and more prevalent, and we're collecting more and more data. 44 zettabytes of data by 2020 is predicted. Okay? That's a lot. Google it, or even better, put it into Bing. But the problem when we got all this data in there is now what we're missing is actually the human attention around that data. So what do we do with that data? Okay? We got all this data coming in from our health bands and everything, but what happens to that? And that's where we need you. So this is a job, right? A new job which didn't exist a couple of years ago. Data science, right? At the minute, you teachers kind of sit down here in the bottom left, right? A bit rubbish, really, okay? They look at your results, and they go, oh, okay, you know, Jane did really well in maths. Okay, I'll give her more maths work to do, right? So you get this descriptive analytics. NAPLAN is the same. It's pretty rubbish, yeah? You get your results on NAPLAN about 6 months after you've done it, right? Which is useless, right? So there's a lot of descriptive analytics that happen. What just happened? Let's analyze it. Let's put it into a spreadsheet. It's amazing. But then you start to do some diagnostics, and some of your teachers, for example, are really good at that, and they analyze, well, why did Jane fail her exams, for example, right? But then you start to bring IT into it and computer science. And then you can start, if you get lots of data, and that's why they're doing lots of trials with Uber, self-driving cars and things. The more data you get in, then the easier it is to do predictions and predictive analytics. And there's a huge kind of emphasis and lots of money to be made in predictive analytics. So you going into a company and saying, I can predict what's going to happen in the future. And then also, how are you going to change it? So what are you going to prescribe? How are you going to fix that? So, for example, a student coming into school you could kind of say, well, that student likes Xbox, they're not very good at geometry, they like eating Kit Kats, therefore they're going to fail their HSCs. What can we do about it? But it becomes more complicated, but the data you're using has more value, okay? So if you're in the top right there, that's where the money's to be made in the jobs. Machine learning and analytics. So what is machine learning? And this is the thing which you start to think about. There's jobs now in machine learning. We use C# and Python a lot in machine learning, okay? And that's how you train machines to actually learn. You put lots of data in there, and you actually set up a little algorithm, we call it, and it learns habits and patterns. And that's what the Uber team are doing. They're driving these self-driving cars around different areas in America, and they're learning. And there's an ethical thing. Think about it. You know, that this tragedy, the cyclist got killed by a self-driving car. And it was almost inevitable. So there's an ethical thing between when you start to test things and when things go wrong. Yeah? Because the machines have to learn. And what would happen if you were in a Uber, for example? Lots of ethical dilemmas about this. You're in a self-driving car. You've bought a self-driving car in 3 years' time. You're driving along. Somebody jumps in front of you from the right-hand side, and somebody jumps in front of you from the left-hand side pushing a pram. What will the machine learning algorithm do? Would they kind of quickly work out, well, actually, I'll run over the oldest person because they got less life to live, kind of thing, yeah? There's lots of ethical dilemmas in that. And when we look into machine learning, does anybody know what animal that is? It's a snow leopard. Brrr. Yeah, so I'll give you a point, okay? A leopard's right. That's a snow leopard. So we use machine learning to actually track snow leopards. There's only 5,000 of them in the world at the minute. So they're becoming extinct and more extinct, and their habitats are kind of becoming few and far between, as you can see on the diagram. And the way they track them at the minute is people put a camera, pretty much like that camera over there, which is filming me at the minute, and then they leave it, and then they come back a day later and they watch it, yeah? And they watch it, and watch it, and watch it. And it's the same with CCTV. If somebody goes missing, the police come along, and they watch CCTV, and you know, it takes a long time. So what you can do with analytics, and what we're doing with snow leopards, is actually, the machine learning is learning what snow leopards look like, their patterns, their colors, their habitats, and learning to distinguish that. Because it starts to get a little bit kind of blurry, doesn't it? And the colors, you know, the idea of leopards is they're camouflaged, yeah? You can't see them. Like, you can't see that leopard there, can you? It's completely camouflaged, right? Nobody can see that. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, his nose up against the thing, sniffing the camera. You've got to be able to catch things like that. They're not, the snow leopards aren't going to walk up in front of the camera and go, hi, yeah? They're not going to, they're just going to walk around killing things. So, and they might be in darkness. Look at that. There's one over there. And there's one in the snow. Just about to pounce on that deer. Do you want to see the video of it attacking the deer? Jokes, it didn't attack the deer. There's nothing there. It's just snow. But there's one in that picture as well. Can you see it? Yeah. It's pretty obvious. And there's one in that picture as well, isn't it? Yeah, pretty obvious. But it's about different light conditions, right? Where? It's up the tree. No, it's in the snow. It's a snow leopard. They live in snow. Can you see one there? Yeah. Yes. I'll put an arrow to help you out. There it is. In the bottom. Oh, yeah. There it is. It's a bit blurry. Well, that's the thing you've got to contend with. But machines are better at doing this than we are. Yeah? There's a snow leopard. Oh, no, it's not. It's a little otter. There's an obvious one. There he is, or she. There's a snow leopard. But you can actually start to distinguish between different varieties, whether it's a male, whether it's a female, if you've seen it before. There's one in this picture as well. But I've struggled to find it. Somebody pointed it out to me. It's actually in the top corner here with those dots. But they picked it up on patterns, with pattern recognition. There's one there. Can you see that one? It's huge. Its tail is in the corner. Oh, Dan, that's cheating. I know. There's his tail. Yeah? But you've got to be able to pick these things up. So it's really interesting. Machines are much better at doing pattern recognition than we are. See one there? Yeah, you see that one. There. But there's a lot of data that gets collected in from these cameras. And I don't mean like 20 or 30. It's almost thousands of data sets that you can collect in. And if you're thinking about CCTV across really large cities and being able to monitor that for people and things, then that's really important. And then the Internet of Things is where there's a lot more jobs as well, where everything is going to be connected and pretty much is already, isn't it? You can, I don't know if you've got Google Home, one of these things, or Alexa, or the Cortana, Microsoft stuff, but all of those intelligent home devices, turn my lights on, turn my lights off, open the curtains, all of those devices are going to explode. They're going to become more and more prevalent, yeah? I got an Alexa in my house and I can't live without it. It's great, really friendly, and you can ask it really bizarre things. So that takes a lot of time to look through all that data, and you're saving lots and lots of time doing that. So what other applications are there, right? You might have seen these before, yeah? This is using Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services, the same stuff as we're using to find those snow leopards. That's found out from my picture there. My gender, my age, it's an old photo. But it's, can you think of an application that can use Microsoft Cognitive Services to actually utilize my age and my gender, for example? Have a think about it, because that's where the money is. So when I've done this with schools directly, and I go into schools quite regularly and work with you guys, on app development and stuff like that, then you think about it. You can have one girl came up with an idea of an area in a train station where only girls can get into. So you walk up to it, there's a camera on your mobile phone or on the door, and if you're female, it lets you in, yeah? Or about a bar to save bouncers. You walk up to a bar, if you're over 18, it serves you. If you're not, then it doesn't. It saves bouncers on the doors and things like that. What about this one, a matching one, which we just looked at with the cognitive services earlier on with a snow leopard? I'm 24% like the best football player in the world. So matching pictures, can you think of applications that utilize that cognitive service? Yeah? We looked at ones with snow leopards there earlier on. But you can do this tomorrow. You can spin up Azure. There's demos on our site. You can actually compare images. Have you got a really good idea of what to do? Yeah? Cheating for exams. Somebody came up with an idea last year about lots of universities, they cheat. They send people in to do the exams for them. They'll do an exam in a really large hall like this, and nobody really knows who's coming in and out. They have invigilators in, so people kind of fraudulently pass their exams. So actually, that's really important as well. Emotional APIs. How about something that you know about emotional, how people are, how happy you are? I could turn my phone on, point it at you guys, and find out how happy you are as an audience. Video tracking as well, right? Really, really interesting. You can utilize some of that cloud to track video, to track people, to track objects. And then where else are we going? So we've got data, we've got AI, we've got machine learning. Hopefully you've got those three things, because that's where the big bets are from Microsoft's point of view. But quantum computing, University of Sydney are working on, we've got a hub there at the minute called Station Q, which is actually developing the first quantum computer. Now what that means is they're going to process things very, very fast. And it means our security and Bitcoin and all of that kind of stuff is going to be completely defunct, because it's going to be easy to crack a lot of the encryption that we've got on a lot of the technology we're using at the minute. So quantum computing is going to make things extremely fast to process, to analyze lots more real-time data coming in, but also it's going to have its ethical issues as well around security. And then where else are we going? 3D, mixed reality, and gaming. The 3D stuff is baked into Windows 10, and we've done that purposely. Xbox is running Windows 10, right? The idea is you can create stuff on your PC, and you can actually push it onto Xbox, but it's actually embedded inside Windows 10, so you can create 3D objects for free, and you can also push them out into mixed reality. So if you've got a latest build of Windows 10, you can actually do your object and then put that into situ. So that's, for example, a Mars rover, life-size with the size of a car, right? Now what I'm going to do now is try to bring some of those trends together, and I'm going to talk you through a video. And I'm going to tell you some of the technologies that are in this video as we go, right? Because you might miss it otherwise. And all this stuff is either already created or is just coming out of our development labs. At the top, here we go. This is a scuba diver in the Barrier Reef. Her name's Kat. She's actually got a HoloLens in her mask. It's scanning in kelp, and it's actually putting data over the top of the fish and over the animals. It's scanning them in, and it's actually giving that data to her so she can see it inside the HoloLens. She's using what's called a Microsoft Dial, which you've got lots of surface technologies, and it allows her to analyze different things in the water. And she can see here different plants, and there's a translator happening. Skype translator now translates in real time from sign language. So there's a girl signing in Campbelltown School for Performing Arts in Sydney. She's signing in there and it's translating using a Kinect sensor to cat in the Great Barrier Reef live. She's scanned in some of the things she's found and she's printing them out on a 3D printer. And some of the students are designing things using a pen and stylus technology. Okay, and that's Sway. Some of you might have seen Microsoft Sway. And then there's using a continuum function of Windows 10 where you can push things to different devices. So I can push my Xbox onto my Windows device. I can push my PC onto my TV at home without using any fancy Chromecast or anything like that, or Apple TVs. So you're pushing data across, okay? Now Kat's out of the water now and she's going to go and order some tea, I believe. So she's going to open up her new Surface-based tablet, which is touchscreen, okay? And she's picking her tea. And then she's actually going to start to grab her data from her dive trip and present that back to her team to be able to put that and publish it online. So she's going to be showing her dive trip, showing the kelp, and she's even going to Skype into her friend. And a stylus technology isn't just a stylus, it's an active stylus that can store data, it can move data around, and she can actually start to kind of develop things and artifacts herself. She can call her friend on Skype and say, can you have a look at this for me, please? You think it's okay? She can remix it. It looks nice. That's in Sway again. You might have seen that. You all get access to it in schools. And she's chatting to a mate, and then she publishes it. And the world can see it. Yay! Publishes to LinkedIn. And then she has a cup of tea. Now, this lady is looking for somebody to employ, right? And she's going to look for Kat. Now, our data is everywhere, right? Where's your data? One of the takeouts from today is to go out, set up your LinkedIn profile, set up a blog. If you're interested in IT, start to create a presence, yeah? If you're not interested in IT, you're interested in other things like games design, stories, create that now, because people like this recruiter are looking at it, yeah? They look at your Facebook, they look at your LinkedIn, they look at your blog, and they want to see what you're doing. And if you're interested in something, start to write it down and document it now. She's comparing these people, and she uses Windows Continuum to drag that down, and she says, okay, I'm going to look at Kat's kelp reef project and everything, yeah? Awesome so far, hey. Now Kat's out, yeah? Having sushi with her friends. She's loving it. Pretty cool. She steals some pattern from a dress with her wearable technology. Ignore that part. And then, but her wearable technology is connected to her email. We've all seen now with Apple Watches and other kind of devices that we've got. And she's actually got a job interview with our lady. And she's accepted it. She's going to get on a bike. You've seen these bikes around Sydney, yeah? They're usually left in beaches and things, but, you know, she's kind of jumped on that, going into a co-working space with the NFC technology on a bracelet. And she's logging into a Surface Hub, which is one of our large kind of Surface devices, and it knows who she is because she's using Windows to log into it. She's got an interesting biometric thing in her ear there, which actually is checking her heart rate and her temperature and works out when she's in flow. And you'll see her go into do not disturb mode in a second, so nobody can ring her because she's deep in work. So you'll see her go red. But she's using a stylus-based technology to actually design and think about a solution for that lady for this new job. Lovely. Jobs of the future, hey? Co-working spaces. Now, when you bring that to home, this is a recruiter. She's now looking forward to Kat in her team. She's got Internet of Things at the fridge, telling her what she needs to buy. She's got HoloLens there, so she can actually Skype directly into one of her relatives. And the IoT devices in his knee give some biometric data on the joints and things like that. So medicine is using a lot of this data, okay? So the medical fields are huge. Now, this is where Kat's job is, and she's actually now trying to find out what she can do to make more kelp grow, right? So she's kind of doing some chemical analysis using a Surface Hub, using gesture control, so that's available now. We've got a HoloLens device which you put on your head, and you can actually, it understands your gestures in 3D, in a three-dimensional space, using the Kinect sensor from Xbox. And data coming in from this yield, okay? Lots of people in ag tech in Australia, agricultural technology, using data analytics and machine learning. So Kat's going to sit down, she's going to visualize this in HoloLens and mixed reality, suss out what's going on with these kelp reefs, and she's going to send down IoT robots. IoT, Internet of Things. These robots are going to actually swim into that particular zone and find out how much kelp is in there, send it back to Kat, and Kat is going to go, yay, we're going to go green without yield. Woo! Isn't life so simple? But that technology shows real technology that we're using around the cloud and around our productivity tools and around the operating systems and hardware to bring things together, okay? You need to look at the tech companies and see who's innovating, see what people are doing, yeah? Because everybody, whether it's Apple, whether it's Google, whether it's Microsoft, we're all doing things which are kind of pushing the boundaries. But we'll create the technology, but it's you that come up with the ideas that make $1 million app. I get people coming to me in Microsoft regularly with really good ideas and asking for funding and asking for support. And anybody in this room can do that. And that's what we need, because Microsoft, Google, all these people make things, but you guys are the ones that are going to make $1 million on all of this and actually solve problems. So what we call that is the intelligent edge. So it's where the data, AI, and all of our mixed reality comes together and connects seamlessly. Not to knock any other competitors or anything, but different companies are in IT for different reasons, right? Some are into it for advertising, some are into it for selling hardware. Where do Apple make most of their revenue? Anybody know? iPhone, yeah? I think it's 80-odd% of their money comes from iPhone, yeah? They don't have a cloud, right? Their cloud sits on other people's clouds. They don't monetize that. They're a hardware company. Microsoft do hardware and software, right? The cloud and productivity. So think about what the different tech companies are doing and how you can utilize that technology. Some of the Apple technology is fantastic. And where do you use that for certain technologies and certain jobs, but where you actually need to be thinking about for the future. And it's very much around cloud. People today have probably already talked to you about cloud and where things are moving. Moving lots of the hardware off-site into the cloud, right? So where do you start? There's a couple of things up here for you to have a look at. Microsoft Virtual Academy. You can just put that into Bing or into Google and look for it. You can start to teach yourself. Your teachers are not going to teach you because we've only just invented a lot of it. Nothing against your teachers because they do an awesome job, and I used to be a teacher. We're inventing things that are really, really new and kind of so new that we actually haven't even got a lot of courses on there. So you need to kind of find the documentation out yourself. Microsoft, the developer network, you can join that community. Download Unity. It's not a Microsoft product. Start to create games. Yeah, start to develop your skills around coding but other things as well. Start a blog, set up your social media profile, set up a LinkedIn account, which is your online CV. Get those things together and you can start today. The future is really, really bright. The cloud technology and the way things are moving, they're moving very, very rapidly. We're on the verge of a fourth industrial revolution, and actually your ideas are what's going to change the world. Okay, it's not Microsoft or Google or Apple. It's people in this room who are going to come up with cures for cancer, self-driving cars, send us to Mars, all of that kind of stuff. That's what you need to think about. You can do that and settle down, think about what you've picked up today from all the speakers, and come out and do something after today's experience in the big day. Okay, so that's me.